Hello students. In lecture 5 of Elements of Discrete Mathematics, we are going to discuss lattice and certain examples of lattices. So first of all, here we have the definition of lattice. So a lattice is a partially ordered set. Poset means partially ordered set L less than equal to, in which every subset AB means every pair of two elements of L has a greatest lower bound or infimum, as well as a least upper bound and supremum. In other words, we can say a partially ordered set L less than equal to a partially ordered set L with the relation this is a lattice if for every AB belongs to L, supremum of this set exists and infimum of this set exists, and that supremum and infimum should belong to the set L itself. Only then we will say that L is a lattice. Because in the lecture 4 we have discussed that the supremum of a set may or may not belong to the set. But here this L will be called a lattice only in that situation if infimum of the every pair of two elements belongs to L and supremum of every pair of two elements belong to L. So we denote the supremum. This is some notation for supremum and infimum. Whenever we talk about the lattice, generally the supremum of a pair of two elements is denoted by A join B. We call this as join, this symbol as join, A join B. And the infimum is denoted by A meet B. This symbol we call meet, A meet B. Other notations are also there. Sometimes the supremum is denoted by A plus B and infimum is denoted by this. And in case of partial order of sets, the supremum is this, infimum is this, and we can also denote supremum of AB and infimum of AB like this. So these are various notations that may be used in this lecture. The example 1, S is any non-empty set, very common example, we have already talked about this, and PS be the power set. Then we know that this PS with respect to this relation, inclusion relation, is a partially ordered set, and here we want to show that it is a lattice. So from the definition it is clear that if a set is a lattice, then first of all it must be a partially ordered set. And then the second condition of existence of supremum and infimum must also be satisfied. So we know that we have discussed in earlier lecture that PS with relation inclusion is a partially ordered set. Also for any two sets AB belongs to this, we can define that A join B or the supremum of AB as A union B and infimum of these two as A intersection B. In lecture 4 I have discussed that the union of this set, if we have A union B, then definitely A is subset of this as well as B is subset of this A union B. So we can say this A is less than equal to A union B and B is less than equal to A union B. So you can say that A union B is an upper bound of the set A comma B. But there can be various upper bounds, means if I add any set to this union, that I say A union B union C union D, so there it becomes also an upper bound of this. So we can have infinite number of upper bound for this set, and among those upper bounds this A union B is the least. That is why we are calling it as a supremum of AB. A union B is the supremum of this set, or we say the least upper bound of this. Least upper bound and supremum both are same things, is A union B. Exactly in the same manner, the infimum is given by A intersection B. Why? Because A intersection B is contained in A as well as in B. So we can say A intersection B is less than equal to A and A intersection B is less than equal to B. Due to this fact, we can say that A intersection B is the lower bound for the set. A intersection B in fact equal to lower bound for the set AB, and in fact it is the greatest lower bound. Why? Because if we take intersection of other sets C, D, etc. with this, so those are infinite number of lower bounds, and among those lower bounds this one is the greatest one. So now clearly, if we are taking two sets A and B from the power set, then their union as well as their intersection are the part of PS itself, So I can say that A union B, A intersection B belongs to PS. Therefore, this partially ordered set PS with inclusion relation is a lattice. So this is very common example, simple example of a lattice. Let us illustrate a lattice with the help of a Hesse diagram. So we have this set S having 3 elements, then this power set has this 8 elements, and we have already established that any power set is a partially ordered set, and hence the lattice also. This one in general we have proved that any power set with inclusion relation is a lattice. So here we can draw the Hesse diagram for this. We have already discussed in our earlier lectures. So next example is this set. Here the set A is in fact, as we have discussed, the notation we can also denote it by D6. That means it consists the divisors. Sorry, I will not denote it by D6 because here one is not included. Otherwise, when we write it as D6, one must also be there. Must also have been there. So you 2, 3, 4, 6. This is the set. Now this set with respect to the relation divisibility is a partially ordered set but not a lattice. So we can say that it is not the case always that whenever we are having a partially ordered set that it will also be a lattice. A partial ordered set may not be a lattice. So this is the example of such type. However, this is a partially ordered set but it is not a lattice. The first thing you see how it is a partially ordered set with respect to this relation divisibility. You see, every element is related to itself. The first thing for partially ordered set, you must prove it as reflexive. You can see that every element is divisible by itself. 2 divides 2, 3 divides 3, 4 divides 4, and 6 divides 6. So you can say here, you can say 2 related to 2, 3 related to 3, 4 related to 4, and 6 related to 6. So the relation reflexivity is the property reflexivity is satisfied. Second is anti-symmetry. You can see if we have A divides B and B divides A, implies A has to be equal to B. Otherwise it is not possible. You can see here there are no two numbers such that A divides B and B divides A. It's not possible here. It is possible only in the situation when both are equal. That is why the relation is anti-symmetric. The third one is the transitivity. If we are having that A divides B and B divides C, then definitely you can see here A divides C. For example, here if A divides B and B divides C, then A divides C. So what is the case here? Here only we talk about 6. 2 divides 6. 3 divides 6. No. This situation actually not happening with any of the elements. We don't have such an element that A divides B and B divides C. So when we have no such elements, so in that situation, this condition can be assumed to be automatically satisfied, that A divides B and B divides C implies A divides C, because in fact actually no such elements are existing over there. When such elements are not there, so that this condition is happening, so automatically assumed to be satisfied. So we can say that this is a partially ordered set. This is a partially ordered set. Now we talk about the supremum and infimum of every pair of elements. For example, here this one is considered supremum of 4 6. In my last lecture 4, I told you that when we are finding the supremum in case of the divisibility relation, in fact supremum means the LCM of 4 and 6. The LCM of 4 and 6 comes out to be 12. The least common multiple of 4 and 6 is 12. And you can see 12 does not belongs to A. So you can say the supremum of this pair 4 6 does not belongs to A. Hence we can say A is not a lattice. A is not a lattice. However, it is a partially ordered relation, but it is not a lattice, because for a partially ordered set to be a lattice, the essential condition is that the supremum of every pair of elements and the infimum of every pair of elements must exist, and that should belongs to the set itself. But here we could find a pair 4 6, the supremum of which is not belonging to this set A, therefore this A is not a lattice. Example 3, let L be set of all factors of 12, that is another notation for this set is D12, the set of all factors of 12, or we can say all divisors of 12. So exactly the process in this process of proving the partial order relation is same as here, because here this is also a partially ordered set with respect to the divisibility relation. A and B and two elements in L, then supremum of AB under divisibility relation is the least positive integer such that A divides C and B divides C. So we have already discussed this thing. The supremum of two elements in such a case is LCM of A and B. Similarly, the infimum of A and B is the greatest common divisor of A and B. So clearly here we can denote for every pair the supremum and infimum for every pair exist. And in order to do this, what you can do, you can prepare a table here like that. You write here LCM of LCM table, and here the elements are 1 2 3 4 6 12, 1 2 3 4 6 12. Take the LCM of 1 with each of these. LCM of 1 and 1 is 1, 1 and 2 is 2, 1 and 3 4 6 12. Now I take LCM of 2 and 2. Sorry, 2 and 1 is 2. So here also 3 4 6 and 12, like that. Now I take LCM of 2 with 2 is 2, 2 with 3, LCM of 2 and 3 is 6, LCM of 2 and 4 is 4, 2 and 6 is 6, 2 and 12 is 12, 3 and 2, LCM is 6, 3 and 3 is 3, 3 and 4 is 12, 3 and 6 is 6, 3 and 12 is 12, 4 and 2 is 4, and 4 and 3 is 12, 4 and 4 is 4, 4 and 6 is 12, 4 and 12 is 12 again. So 6 and 1 is 6 definitely, 6 and 2 is 6 LCM, 6 and 3 is 6, 6 and 4 is 12, 6, 12, then 12 with 1 is 12. So of course in this it will be 12 in all the situations. So you can see this whole table, all elements, basically we have taken LCM for every pair of the elements. 1 with 1, 1 with 2, 1 with 3, 1 with 4, 1 with 6, 1 with 12. Similarly 2, 1, 2, 2. We have considered the LCM of every pair. That means if we have considered the supremum of every pair AB, and in this table you can see all elements are belonging to this set L itself. So you can say the supremum of AB belongs to L for all AB belongs to L. Similarly, you can say infimum of, for infimum you can also construct the similar table, and for infimum you will not construct the table of LCM, but you will construct the table of GCD of two numbers AB. So in fact that table will also give you similar type of structure, and all the elements will definitely be in this set L. So these two conditions are satisfied, that supremum of every pair of two elements belongs to L and infimum of every pair of element belong to L. And if we represent it with the help of a Hasse diagram, and that can be represented like this. Next is example 4. In example 4, we are considering the set of natural numbers with the relation less than equal to, and this relation is in usual sense, means as you know the meaning of less than equal to. So we can say that this is also a lattice. First of all, we already know that it is a partially ordered set. All the conditions will be satisfied over here, the reflexives, antisymmetric, and transitivity. Now let us talk about the supremum of any two numbers. Uh, the supremum, if we consider that supremum of two elements AB, two natural numbers AB as maximum of AB and infimum as minimum of AB, then it is obvious from here that maximum of two numbers and minimum of two natural numbers is definitely a part of the set of natural numbers. So you can say that supremum of every pair of two numbers exist and infimum of every pair of two numbers exist. Therefore this n along the set of natural numbers with the relation less than equal to in usual sense is a lattice. This is a lattice. The last example, this is example 5. We say example 5, every chain is a lattice. Every chain is a lattice. So you know, when we are talking about a chain, the first thing is that it is already a partially ordered set, and a partially ordered set is said to be a chain. It's said to be a chain if every pair of elements is comparable. Means if all elements are comparable, A less than equal to B or B less than equal to A for all pair of elements. So without loss of generality, if we assume that A is less than equal to B, because either we have to consider this or this, so we are considering this case that A is less than equal to B. And we have to show that supremum of n every pair exists in the chain L and infimum also exists in L. In fact, the supremum is denoted by A join B and infimum is denoted by A meet B. And we have to show that this A join B and A meet B exist in L. So it has been written here that if we assume A less than equal to B, then it will happen automatically. So I want to elaborate it further how it can happen like this. You know, this A join B equal to supremum of A and B. That implies I can say by definition of supremum that this A is less than equal to A join B, as well as this B is less than equal to A join B. I can also write that B is less than equal to B. We can write it because reflexive property is there in a partially ordered set. So from here I can say B less than equal to B is here, and A less than equal to B, this is given in the statement. This is given in the statement. We have assumed this. So B less than equal to B and A less than equal to B. So I can say B is an upper bound. B is an upper bound of this set AB, because the elements of this set AB, this B and A, both are less than equal to B. So I can say B is an upper bound. But we are already given that A join B is supremum of AB, or that is least upper bound of AB. It means because this is least among all the upper bounds, therefore this A join B must be less than equal to A, must be less than equal to B, because this is least upper bound, so it will be less than or equal to all the other upper bounds. Here B is an upper bound and this is the least upper bound, therefore this will be the relationship here. So I say that this is number 2, and here I say that this is number 1, that was coming from the definition. So now from 1 and 2, comparing 1 and 2, from 1 and 2 I can say from 1 and 2, A join B equal to B, and B is an element of L, already considered B is an element of L. So you can say supremum of AB belongs to L. Exactly in the same manner, when you start with A meet B equal to infimum of AB and you start working like this, you will observe that A meet B equal to A, and this is an element of L. Therefore, I can say that infimum of AB belongs to L. Therefore, L is a lattice. L is a lattice. That means every chain is a lattice. So these are certain exercises you can try. The first one is the partially ordered set is a lattice? The second exercise, determine whether these both sets this and this are lattices. Third one, which of these are posets? Fourth, which of these are posets? And fifth, which of these pair of elements are comparable in the partially ordered set this? So these are the 5 questions you can try based on this. Then we have certain properties of lattices. So this is it about this lecture. We will discuss the properties in the next one.